Hey, 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 welcome in, welcome in. We are back for another great conversation between the two of us, Lacy and Winnie, and then maybe just like a pretend conversation with all of you over there.
Yeah. Hey. Hey, girl. Hey.
How you doing over there? Okay, so, all right. So, Lacy, you shared you were feeling spicy. So, why don't you tell us what you're feeling spicy about today?
I am feeling spicy. And I thought, you know what? This is podcast topic. So let's just hash it out here. We create all kinds of scenarios, when we meet with people, meet with families, like what are their goals? Okay, let's see how we can prepare for an upcoming expansion of the operation. That can look in a lot of different ways, but like how can we create a pool of money, start our own banking system? How can we maybe go to the bank for less money whenever this opportunity comes up? And we present, okay, yep, let us go in the back end. We're going to create something that we think could work for you. Then we present it. But here's the thing. First and foremost, if we don't understand what the problem is with continuing to do business with the banks, then the solution and the scenario that we present, it's not going to be for you because you don't see that as a solution. So that's kind of where my thoughts started going. And I'm just like...
Because it was spurred on. How is it spurred on?
Spurred on, I think by like just a conversation with someone who, okay, like, I think this could work. What could it look like? And then, well, yeah, but I still have to borrow from the bank. Well, you still have to borrow from the bank because you haven't known about the concept long enough in order to prepare to have the ability to fully finance this expansion with your own pool of money. So that's the first thing, is time. And we can't do anything about that. You learn about this concept when you learn about it. We can't go back 20 years and implement it, right? So that's the first thing. And I guess I'll speak to that too, because I was talking to a client yesterday about we have to just get through this capitalization phase. Just like Nelson told us, this is not going to happen overnight. So let's be really strategic in how we treat your policy and the money that's going in and your policy loans. But then once we get past that capitalization phase, it's going to be the snowball of momentum that just rolls. So that's how this topic was brought on, is because, okay, well, I still have to go to the bank, so I might as well just go to the bank for the full purchase price. Well, okay, but you're going to be paying, like, let's just say like the down payment on this expansion was $500,000. Would you rather pay interest on $500,000 less to the bank and have like $500,000 funded from your own pool of capital? And if you don't see that problem, then yes, the solution we present to you isn't going to make sense.
I truly believe what we have to present and what we have to share becomes a lot more attractive when the frustration with dealing with lenders hits a certain threshold. It's different for everybody, like what triggers them to get upset or hits them to a point where it's like something has got to change. Because I don't like either working for the bank, like the bank ends up making more money than you do in a year and they didn't do any of the work. That gets really frustrating for a lot of people. And then it's oftentimes too, like especially in the agricultural world, like the timing is the timing of things. And it doesn't always line up conveniently when the payment is due. And then you're having to come up with negotiating with your lender to try to make things work. And it's just a whole host of things. But you're right. If you don't actually see what you're doing as a problem, there's nothing that we can say that will prove you otherwise. And the thing is proving ourselves to people. It's just not a empowering place to be. And we're not here to prove anything to anybody. We're just here to really share a solution when people are ready to hear it.
Yeah. And then I'll say this, another conversation I had this week is we're not asking our clients to do anything that we're not already doing. In our family, we have a system of 7 policies, hopefully soon to be 8, 9, 10 policies. So, as an advisor who shares my passion for this, I'm not asking you to do anything that I'm not already doing. And I know that you too, Winnie, I know that you're doing it and you're living it. And if you need to ask us, well, give me an example of how you practice this, ask me. An open book.
I guess it's very normal for most people to want to simplify things without doing any of the work. It's a form of abdication in a way. Like, so you want to make a snap judgment about what this is based on a 2-minute summation or a minute summation or 30-second summation of what I have to say. When in fact, the only way anyone really gets to make an educated decision is if a person actually takes the time to go through the details and come to the conclusion themselves. If you're going to come to us and say, oh, like, what are some of the statements that people make? Yeah, I'd rather just do business with the banks. No problem. Okay, so good for you.
Yeah, like totally. I mean, pick your path. If you want to do business with the banks, go ahead. I'm not going to stop you. Here's the other thing, and we were talking about this before we started recording, is when you're building your own pool of
Capital.
money, of capital within a system of policies, or even if it's just one policy, you're not just building that capital. There's also other benefits to it. Like, okay, let's talk about the death benefit piece. And some people don't understand, well, why do we need death benefit? Sometimes it's seen as like, you want a death benefit on my life? Like, why? That gets forgotten.
Well, I think the people who say, why do I need a death benefit on my life? To me, there's just a lack of understanding, in my personal opinion, like a lack of perspective. For instance, if you do want to get a loan from the bank, usually one of the requirements from the bank is that you have life insurance on that loan, so that upon your death, the bank gets paid back. So that's one reason when you're getting a loan. And I think sometimes also that statement of like, why do you want death benefit on me? It is a lack of understanding, because that automatically tells me that, number one, they don't know enough about the subject, but also they're afraid that something morbid might happen. Like, why do you want to like off me and kill me and then get all this money or what is the case, right? But it also, I think, comes from people who think I have nothing to be insured for, and I don't have kids, or I don't have a spouse, or they come from a situation where life insurance was not something that they received or even know that their parents had. You know what I mean? Like, it's not something that they grew up really knowing or understanding or having any sort of value around it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have a friend who, I mean, actually, she's a client. Her mom passed away last year at some point, and she had a small life insurance policy. And that was something that was really emotional for my friend to receive, because it was just a piece of her mother that she got to keep. And she actually put it into her own policy to build it there forever. Hopefully her kids outlive her. So then it'll be passed on to her kids in the form of a death benefit. And it's like, see the generational wealth piece of this, where we're bettering the next generation, or we're leaving things easier for them. I don't know if the easier is the word, but it's just like she got that piece of something from her mother and was able to do something with it that will have lasting impact for generations to come. And there wasn't anything morbid about that.
Not at all. I was just thinking, as you were chatting about things there, like, what's the gap between where you and I are, Lacy, like, and how we thinking? Like, we literally have been reading, we have been surrounding ourselves with each other, we have been surrounding ourselves with other IBC brothers and sisters. We have been not only teaching this, but we have been living it. So there's many, many hours that has gone into our thinking and our actions compared to people who are not here at this point. And everyone is in such a different spot when it comes to their own finances. And I think about right now where the war is going on over in Iran and those pieces. And since that has been in place, the gas prices have gone up. little things, right? Like, but all of it's being passed off to each and every one of us. Like, my gas tank that was for about a good 2 or 3 years right now was maybe costing somewhere between like $60 to $65 at most for a 55-gallon tank. Now cost me like $94. Now, times that by a gajillion times, for farmers and ranchers who use up way more gas than I ever will, right? Farmers and ranchers probably use up like more gas in a month than I'll ever use in a year. And so when things like gas goes up and when there's like fear and concern, and even in the marketplace, there's a lot of headlines that talk about there's going to be a crash. It gets harder and harder to feel solid. Like what is the right way to think about things? Like, never mind thinking about the possibility of leaving a legacy. It's like, what is the possibility of like getting through the next few months or the next few years? Okay, if we were to take faith as an example, getting through life, like we all know life is hard, but when we have faith, it gets a lot easier because you'll always have hope. And no different, I think that in finances, there needs to be like a chosen conscious thought process around having some core fundamental principles about how you think about money and manage money on the day-to-day, on the month-to-month, so that you feel like it's 100% possible to achieve that generational legacy, like where you think it's possible to leave behind something for your children, your grandchildren, or for whoever you care about, even if you don't have children, but just whatever you care about. But It is about 100% believing that the way that you operate with money on the day-to-day level is going to help you get there. But if you don't even have that conscious principle belief, then it's very easy to get lost in the noise of everyday news and headlines that we are hearing all over the place.
Yeah, I completely agree. And it comes back to prepare in the good times when things seem, to be rolling on pretty steady. Prepare and try to be proactive instead of reactive. And I think, like, of course, I heard this the other day and I can't remember where I heard it. It was like, in times like we are in right now, like the state of Canada and the possibility, the Alberta separation and all these things that are going on. And then, gas prices are high and groceries are higher. I heard somebody say, but the solution to those problems isn't, well, we just won't drive as much. The solution is standing up and voicing our concerns and voicing our opinions and pushing for those conversations to be had in government, instead of saying, well, this is what's happening, so we will just not go anywhere for the month of April because we can't afford it. I think it all kind of ties in together with what can we do to, one, change the way we've always done things. And just like Mary Jo said in her first copy of the book, the way we farm has changed, but the way we are financing the farm hasn't changed. The way we are storing our money and growing our money, and like, none of that has changed, but the world around us is changing so fast. But the way we handle our money hasn't changed. Like, come on.
The Canadian version of the book that is right beside Lacy's head right there. It's like, show me a way. I think it's first and most important to get the general concept and the idea of what this really is before you can really get to a place, because it's not about what the numbers really look like. It's just, does it resonate with you? Can you see yourself changing the way that you behave around money in order to make it happen? Because that's what it's going to take. It's going to take a change in your behavior. You got to see the value on the other end to make it naturally happen. Because I know, just like developing a new habit, half the battle is just putting on the workout clothes.
Yeah, because guess what? I didn't get up and go on my treadmill this morning like I usually do because, gosh, I just felt tired this morning. But it is half the battle. Like, half the battle is getting up, putting on the tights, getting the shoes. And I try to make it as easy as possible. And I just get all my stuff and it's all set out right there. But this morning didn't happen.
But it's not a perfect process. Like, that's the thing. You don't have to be perfect with it. It's just that every step that you take, every little thing that you do for yourself to get yourself one step closer to doing the very action that is required to get us into better shape, whether it's physically or financially. It's there. And both Lacy and I have been taking those steps. It hasn't always been perfect because we're just like anybody else. We have our competing priorities, our challenges, the things that get in the way. I'm seeing it not only in my own life, but in my client's life, how much more peaceful it can be, especially through the hard times, and having a system set up like this. And there is also a massive peace of mind too that, just knowing that they're helping themselves in their day-to-day, but also the fact that they're also taking care of what's important at the end of life too. All with the same dollar.
All with the same dollar. That's the thing. Like the premium that you're paying, it's not just going to build that cash value and that pool of capital. Like it's not for nothing. You're buying death benefit, and it's not free money that builds your cash value. You can't get something for nothing. Going back to the whole reason why and the whole topic of this discussion is like the first thing to identify is the problem. We are in agreement that the problem is doing business with the banks. And Nelson too. If you go back to Nelson's book, or you go back to, I just started reading Warehouse of Wealth. I haven't read that book yet. And it's just like going back, and it's always to the same thing. Like, okay, let's go back. Why am I overweight? Well, it's probably because I eat too much and I don't exercise enough. Why is my financial situation not changing and I'm going back to the bank to finance the next piece of land that came from sale? Well, it's because I haven't changed anything with the way I function with my money. Same thing. Do I want to leave is my first and foremost thing to leave a death benefit to my kids? I don't know. That's up to each and everybody to answer that question for themselves. When I was diagnosed with cancer, it felt good that there was a death benefit there if I didn't make it through. A couple of months ago, we processed a death claim for a lady who was in her 70s. Her husband had passed away.
Late 70s.
And
late 70s.
You know what? She's got a lot of life left to live. She's healthy. She might live another 20 years. And that death benefit is going to help her do that. And her husband, they were married 52 years, I think. I think she said 52 years. So the death benefit left to her, it's blessing her for the rest of her life, and likely will bless the grandkids too.
Lacy and I really love to talk about the living benefits of what we share. We really do bring the meaning of life insurance into actually what it means. It's not death insurance, but it is life insurance, something that you can live by, and all life insurance is not created equal for sure. So if this is the first time you're listening to us, throwing it out there that Lacy and I are both life licensed in Canada here and in various provinces. So we apply a certain type of thinking of the infinite banking concept to a very specifically designed life insurance contract, which if you're just interested in general in keeping a lot more money in your life, we just have something to share that is just honestly so quiet and may sound extremely boring at first. But once you hear about it, man, will you ever be pissed off that you didn't look into it sooner? Tell you that much.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, I would say almost every single person we meet with is like, I wish I knew about this 20 years ago. And then the young people who are hearing about it, man, are they ever setting themselves up to be in such a better position than their parents and their grandparents. I think that I can get off my soapbox now.
So is that as much spice as you want to put out for this particular episode?
Yeah, I think the point that needed to be made is like, if you don't see the problem, the solution we present is not going to make sense to you, but it doesn't give you the right to tell you we're wrong. We're here to teach and guide you. We're not here to convince you or sell you. We're here to teach you and guide you. And if you decided, it doesn't resonate with you and you don't have a problem doing business with the banks, that's fine. We wish you well, but doesn't mean we're wrong.
Amen.
Amen, sister. Okay, so you know what to do. If you've been listening to us, you know that you can watch us on YouTube. If you like to watch podcasts like I do, head over onto YouTube. Your first step is getting the book, though. So Behind Winnie and I Both, Farming Without the Bank, the Canadian version, head over to our website, ranchyourway.com. That's where you can grab the paperback plus the audio version bundle. And we will see you on the other side.
so glad you leaned in with us on the Winnie podcast. We truly hope you're feeling more informed and empowered to take another step towards optimizing your financial life. Right now, make sure you hit subscribe so you can keep growing and learning with us. Until next time, we wish you prosperity in every area of your life.